Don't miss out on important news. Our videos are being deleted. So if you don't want to be cut off from honest news, take a moment to sign up for our newsletter at newsletter.ntd.com so you don't lose access to NTD. Go to newsletter.ntd.com to sign up for our evening newsletter.
The FBI says it knows the culprit behind the cyber attack against Colonial Pipeline. The company supplies nearly half of the East Coast's fuels. But the White House says there's no supply issue yet. NTD's Allison Lee has the details.
The FBI said Monday it identified the hacker group behind the attack on the country's biggest pipeline operator, Colonial Pipeline.
The FBI identified the ransomware as the Darkside variant, which they've been investigating since October of last year. It's a ransomware as a service variant, where criminal affiliates conduct attacks and then share the proceeds with the ransomware developers.
The White House says it is taking a whole-of-government response to this incident. The administration is working with Colonial Pipeline to get the company back online again and to get their pipelines up and running. Colonial is also working with private sector cyber consultants to assess the damage.
First, we're actively engaged with the company and offered support as needed to restore their systems. Right now, they've not asked for cyber support for the federal government, but we remain available to meet their cybersecurity needs.
Colonial can decide if they want to pay the ransom or not. The White House says it won't tell the company whether to pay. The attack last Friday is considered possibly the most destructive ransomware attack so far. Gas prices jumped 3% on Sunday to the highest level in 3 years. As of Monday afternoon, the company's main pipeline system is still out of operation.
Right now, there is not a supply shortage. We are preparing for multiple possible contingencies because that's our job, especially on the Homeland Security team, and considering what additional steps may be useful to mitigate any potential disruptions to supply.
The White House says it hasn't identified any foreign ties to the cyber attack, but the intelligence community will keep investigating. They also don't know about the intent of the attack yet. Colonial transports nearly 2.5 million barrels of gas per day. Their pipeline network goes all the way from Texas to New Jersey. In response to potential shortages, the Transportation Department declared a regional state of emergency in 17 eastern and southern states. Analysts say consumers will see a sharp price surge soon if the pipelines aren't restored quickly. Allison Lee, NTD News.
It seems we know the motive behind the attack now. According to cyber reason firm, Darkside is an organized group of hackers who sell ransomware to other criminals to carry out cyber attacks. Darkside said their goal is to make money and not creating problems for society. And we know the cyber attack took down the Colonial Pipeline, but what does this mean for the average consumer? One expert says this could impact every part of Americans' lives. NTD's Christina Kim tells us more.
The Colonial Pipeline system transports around 45% of all fuel that's used in the East Coast. So the effects of the cyber attack on this pipeline will likely be felt by consumers at every level in the U.S. That's what Jason Isaac also says. He's the director of Life Powered, a project from the Texas Public Policy Foundation to educate Americans on energy.
Everything that we touch in our daily lives, everything that you're wearing, everything that you're going to consume today has at one point in time been on a truck. And you increase the cost of that truck, then you're increasing the cost of everything up and down the supply chain.
Isaac says he expects gas prices and diesel prices to climb over the next couple of days.
I'm hearing from reports from groups in Washington, D.C., advising people to fuel up their vehicles tonight and really cut travel down as much as possible to consume fuel because prices are going to spike here over this week.
The spokesperson for the American Automobile Association agrees. She said in a statement, the impact on gas prices and supply will vary regionally. The group says areas including Mississippi, Tennessee, and the East Coast, from Georgia into Delaware, are the most likely to see a limited availability in fuel, as well as a price hike of 3 to 7 cents per gallon. This can happen as early as this week. The state with the highest gas price increase this week is Michigan, which is up by 15 cents. Isaac said it's unclear what part of the pipeline was compromised, but he says there were warnings about another Russian group that made a similar attack on the electric grid in 2018. This is important because states like Texas have been switching from gas to electricity to move pipeline products. And if the grid is compromised, it impacts all infrastructure. He says it's likely we're seeing a similar situation happening with the Colonial Pipeline. In a Monday update, the Colonial said it's still working to get the pipeline back online, but its 4 main lines are still shut down. Christina Kim, NTD News.
And a bipartisan group of attorneys general are speaking out against social media for children. They joined together to ask Facebook to drop plans to make Instagram for kids. NTD's Christina Kim has more.
A bipartisan group of 44 attorneys general are saying no to Instagram for kids. Children under the age of 13 are technically not allowed to join Instagram, one of social media's most popular platforms. But in March, Facebook, which owns Instagram, said it would be exploring a parent-controlled experience on Instagram for kids under 13. Now, the attorneys general wrote a letter urging CEO Mark Zuckerberg to drop these plans. They list 3 main reasons why they think it's a bad idea. First, they say research shows that social media can harm the physical, emotional, and well-being of children. The attorneys general say Instagram exploits children's fear of missing out and their desire to be approved by their peers. Second, children aren't equipped to deal with the challenges of having an Instagram account, and they don't have a developed understanding of privacy. And third, the letter says Facebook has a record of failing to protect the safety and privacy of children, although Facebook claims otherwise. The AGs point to Facebook's Messenger for Kids app, which had a design flaw that let kids chat with strangers without parents' approval. Facebook said Instagram for Kids would give parents more control over their children's online activity for children who are already on the internet anyway. The group also said it's committed to not show ads. Christina Kim, NTD News.
Every year, millions of mothers face one of life's greatest difficulties, giving birth to unhealthy babies. Tonight, one mother of 8 shares her family's miraculous story of overcoming her son's illness. NTD's Sapphire Quarter has the story.
As a stay-at-home mother of 8, Brooke Tillman knows the challenges that come with being a mom.
I think lunch was good, y'all. She's wearing it too.
One of the greatest challenges she faced was that after her son Hosea was born, every time he would eat, he would inhale milk into his lungs.
It was a traumatic thing for me. It got to the point where my husband took over feedings because I felt as such a failure as a mother that I could not feed my child.
At the time, the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong and why he wasn't gaining weight. Eventually, they did a swallow study that revealed the problem with her son's eating.
They had really never seen anything quite like Hosea and his struggles and the way that he aspirated and literally didn't understand why he wasn't sicker than he was. I believe that the Lord healed him.
Tillman says she and a speech therapist fed him very liquid food. They never thought it could heal him. However, her son began to be able to drink thicker and thicker food until he was able to start eating. Tillman says the experience made her a better person.
All those moms out there that have a child that struggles, you don't have a choice to quit. That isn't an option. You have to just face it head on and find your inner strength. And I definitely grew as a mother. I definitely grew in my faith.
Tillman says her family's faith helped lead her husband Todd to win The Voice last year. As for Hosea, Tillman says her son is now such a good eater, they can hardly get him to stop. Sapphire Quarter, NTD News.